I ain't scared of shit, and you gonna find that out. As you seen, the last press conference,
we'll see.
when I walked you down, when you supposed to be the bigger man.
Yeah, hey, you say that because you're fighting with nobody, and you obviously look like you're a great fighter. But you find out September 13th, this is gonna be different for you.
And it's gonna be different from you as well. And the new
question for Canelo.
The last fighters that you fought, they ain't on my level. And
I fought everybody.
The last fighters you fought since 2002.
Mention me one. You
Since
mention me
2002.
one elite fighter. Just one.
You.
Oh, me.
Look.
It's gonna be me.
I don't care about nobody else.
And you will see that.
You. So when I beat you, is you gonna be a nobody? When I stuff a mud hole in your ass, is you gonna be a nobody? You gonna be just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Watch.
Yeah.
Watch. Same shit that everybody else been saying since I moved to 147. I ain't fought nobody. Every last one of them stump a mud hole in their ass, and he gonna be next.
Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford's fight is expected to be one of the biggest in boxing history, but their recent press conference was a total mess.
I respect everybody, but if you fight with me, so it's gonna be different.
Terence, is that true? Did Turkey Al-Sheikh ask you to spice things up?
Turkey didn't ask me to do nothing. I didn't touch him.
You know.
Listen.
Hey, we know, buddy. We know.
First and foremost, somebody was in the room saying that I was scared of them. So I stepped to him and showed him who was the boss.
On the other hand, Floyd Mayweather responded to Canelo Alvarez with honesty, saying he's always had the freedom to choose who he fights. Mayweather dismissed Canelo's strong efforts, claiming the match was easy, and that he dominated him even at nearly 40 years old. He criticized the boxing world for praising Canelo, while bringing others down, saying the fight was one-sided and Canelo was never as tough as people believed.
Canelo, this guy can do, he can pick and choose who he want to fight. And I'm going to tell y'all the truth about Canelo. Easy, man. Easy. Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude. This dude was nothing. I was almost 40 years old when I cooked this dude. Easy. Y'all always disrespecting our fighters.
Brian Bomac McIntyre, Crawford's experienced manager, also shared his thoughts on the fight. He believed the early rounds would be competitive until Terence Crawford made his usual mid-fight adjustments. He was confident Crawford would take control and win just like he has in the past. McIntyre didn't reveal any specific strategies, but said he expected Crawford to dominate in the final rounds and close the fight strong.
It's gonna play out, man. You know, like I always say, it's gonna be a tough few rounds, you know, until Terence makes his adjustments, and then, like he does every fight, he's gonna take it over and run away with it.
How does that look like?
Well, you know, I ain't gonna put it out there like that, but I just looking for Terence to dominate. I know going through.
However, the latest Canelo versus Crawford press conference got intense, with both fighters shouting insults and refusing to step back. There were 10 staredowns and several delays during the event.
Scared of shit, and you gonna find that out. As you seen, the last press conference,
We'll see.
when I walked you down, when you supposed to be the bigger man.
Yeah, hey, you say that because you're fighting with nobody, and you obviously look like you're a great fighter. But you find out September 13th, this is gonna be different for you.
And it's gonna be different from you as well. And the new
question for Canelo.
The last fighters that you fought, they ain't on my level. And
I fought everybody.
The last fighters you fought since 2002.
Mention me one. You mention me one elite fighter. Just one.
You.
Oh, me. It's gonna be me.
I don't care about nobody else.
And you will see that.
You. So when I beat you, is you gonna be a nobody? When I stump a mud hole in your ass, is you gonna be a nobody? You gonna be just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Watch.
Yeah.
Watch. Same shit that everybody else been saying since I moved to 147. I ain't fought nobody. Every last one.
Antonio Tarver was thrilled about the upcoming fight and said he's been talking for a while about Terence Crawford's special energy. He sees Crawford as a serious threat with a level of intensity that others can't match. Tarver wondered if Canelo Alvarez still has the drive to push himself, especially since his footwork has declined, and he hasn't had a real challenge lately. He said Canelo would need to give everything he's got against someone as dangerous and determined as Crawford.
I gotta ask you, Canelo Crawford, who you got?
Come on, bro. I've been telling y'all for the longest. That boy got that energy. And you know what energy I'm talking about. What is that? Tarver energy.
Yes, sir.
Tarver. He got that. And so you know, when you get that, we don't see nobody, bro. Now he in there with a dog, Canelo. Now, the Canelo footwork ain't been what it's supposed to be lately. And he hasn't fought a real threat in a long time. Right. Now, sometimes we can get so comfortable in that zone. But now you got to go down deep to get ready for Crawford. Tarver, you feel me? He got to go deep. Now, we don't know if Canelo still have that in him. We going to see. We gonna see. Coming with it, bro.
Coach Calvin Ford expressed his excitement for the Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford fight, saying he's happy for both fighters. He pointed out that it's been a long time since Crawford faced a top name and praised Canelo as one of the best. Ford called this fight a major moment in boxing, and said it's exactly what both athletes need right now. He believes this matchup gives fans something real to talk about, and could be a defining point in both of their careers.
Both fighters, Crawford getting another serious young African American fighting him. It's been a while, you know what I'm saying? And this guy, he's alive. Canelo is the GOAT, and it's good for Terence Crawford to see that guy, you know what I'm saying? And it's good for Canelo to see him. It gives something for the boxing world to talk about, and everybody look forward to it.
When asked how he would get Crawford ready to face boxing's biggest star, Ford said he wouldn't change a thing. He explained that Crawford has been in top form, especially in how he broke down Errol Spence Jr. in what many thought would be a tough fight, but ended up being one-sided. Ford compared the energy of that match to Hagler versus Hearns, but with an unexpected outcome. He believes that if both Canelo and Crawford bring their best, fans might finally see the legendary showdown they've been hoping for.
Why would I change up what he's been doing? He's been winning. He's been getting the job done. When he shut down Earl, that was perfect. It ain't like he ain't been in no big fights. That was a fight everybody thought they was gonna get a roller coaster, and it went turns.
That was Hagler Hearns. You thought you didn't know what was gonna happen.
We didn't get that.
And he dominated.
We didn't get that fight that we thought we was gonna get.
Yeah.
And then seeing Canelo and him do it, everybody said, "Man, we might get the fight that we're gonna."
Max Kellerman shared his views on the importance of the Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford fight, calling it one of the biggest boxing events he's ever seen. He's covered major fights like Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather and the thrilling battle between Anthony Joshua and Vladimir Klitschko, but believes this matchup could top them all. He said that while past fights were huge, this one might take the #1 spot because of its scale and perfect timing.
You rank this fight out of your top 3 to 5 of all the boxing fights you've called, you've experienced, you've watched.
In terms of the magnitude of the
magnitude,
fight?
yeah.
I mean, of the fights that I've called ringside, it might turn out to be #1. I've done Pacquiao fights, I've done Mayweather fights, I've done Anthony Joshua against Klitschko. Those are big.
He said that with Netflix on board, this could become the most watched title fight in nearly 50 years. Kellerman pointed out that Muhammad Ali's 1978 rematch with Leon Spinks drew 90 million viewers, a record still unbeaten. While fights like Mayweather versus Pacquiao had massive pay-per-view numbers, he believes streaming could bring in even more viewers if household viewership stays steady. He's confident that from a business standpoint, this will be the biggest boxing event he's ever covered.
Well, listen, because of Netflix, this will be the most watched fight, championship fight, in almost 50 years. This is going to be because Muhammad Ali fought Leon Spinks in the rematch in '78, and they did 90 million TV sets. 90 million. And since then, what has even come close? The biggest fights have all been on pay-per-view, and they do 2 million buys. Oh my God, 4 million buys, Mayweather Pacquiao. As I keep saying, if 5 people per TV set watch, that's 20 million people. This is going to do multiples of that. So when you look at it from like a commercial point of view, it'll easily be the biggest boxing event.
Jim Lampley spoke about Terence Crawford's chances against Canelo Alvarez and mentioned a conversation with Larry Merchant. When asked if Crawford could win, Merchant confidently said that smart movement, sharp timing, and good technique can beat size. He explained that if Crawford uses footwork, stays off the center line, and lands clean shots while avoiding big exchanges, he has a strong chance. The key, he added, is to move in and out, mix attacks, and never stay in one place.
I asked the great Larry Merchant, very recently. I said, is there any way in your mind that Terence Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez? And Larry said to me, Jim, did Ray Leonard get a decision win over Marvin Hagler? I said, yes, he did. He said, well, if Ray Leonard could have gotten a decision win over Marvelous Marvin Hagler, then yes, absolutely, Terence Crawford has a chance to beat Canelo Alvarez because it's the same thing. It's the same size difference to a certain degree. It's a very similar style difference, and there's a blueprint there. If Crawford looks at what Leonard did, get in, get out, get in, get out, get in, land to the body, get out, get in, land upstairs, get out, mix it up, mix it up, mix it up, and always the footwork, never standing in the same place. If Crawford has the energy to do that,
Lampley said that even though Canelo has one of the strongest chins in boxing, Crawford doesn't need a knockout to win. He believes Crawford can take the fight on points by sticking to a smart plan, controlling distance, and keeping his energy up for all 12 rounds. Despite the challenge, Lampley made it clear that with the right adjustments and focus, Crawford has a real chance to outbox and outsmart Canelo. Dan Rafael had doubts about the idea that Canelo's weak showing against William Skull was just because of a tough opponent. He believes the real issue is the long term, where from a career that started when Canelo was a teenager. Rafael pointed out that it's not just the number of fights, but the years spent in the ring that eventually catch up to even the best fighters.
He was against Skull. I'm not convinced that it was just a bad style. I think that he's just to the point after, all these years being a professional since he's 15, 16 years old, that takes a toll, man. It's all the sparring, it's all the fights, it's the wear and tear on your body. And I have made this point before. To me, it's not so much about the number of fights, it's how many rounds do you have. Here's the harsh reality. Canelo Alvarez has literally double the number of pro rounds that Terence Crawford does, even though Canelo is younger.
He noted that Canelo has fought over 500 rounds as a pro, which is more than double what Terence Crawford has gone through in his career. This big gap shows how much wear and tear Canelo has endured despite regularly facing top-level opponents, from skilled veterans to tough challengers. All those battles have taken a serious toll on his body. Rafael believes that this accumulated mileage will have a big effect on how Canelo performs against someone as fresh and sharp as Crawford.
Something rounds as a professional now, Canelo. Crawford hasn't even hit 300 rounds as a professional. That's a big difference.
That's another factor then we can look into this fight. There's so many factors to it, like you say, Dan. Now, you did touch on it before.
It's 520 rounds for Canelo Alvarez as a professional, and it's 245 rounds as a professional for Terence Crawford. Yeah. That's a dramatic difference. Think about the wear and tear you might take in an extra 200 plus rounds. And it's not like Canelo's fighting guys who can't fight. He's fighting top level, world championship level fighters, one after the other after the other. If you looked at a guy like William Skull or John Ryder or somebody like that and say that was his so-called worst opponent over the last several years, that's still pretty solid. Those are still...
Michael Buffer predicted a tough and exciting fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, highlighting that skill would matter more than power. When asked about UFC President Dana White promoting the fight, Buffer called him one of the greatest promoters in sports history. He said White would bring fresh energy to boxing and knows how to manage big events despite past criticism from people like Oscar de la Hoya. Buffer clearly supported Dana White's decision to step into the boxing scene.
Fight unless you're announcing it. Canelo versus Crawford. How do you see that one going?
I think it's going to be a close and interesting fight.
Right.
I think it's going to be a technical fight, not a power fight.
Now, what do you think about Dana White promoting it? Do you think
he's only proven himself to be one of the greatest promoters in the history of sports?
So he's good. Pretty good deal. He's good for boxing.
Oh yeah, he'll know what to do.
Because some people like De La Hoya have been a little critical of him, but he has the Michael Buffer approval, obviously. For sure. You're the man. Thank you.
According to John Ted, Terence Crawford often gets into punching exchanges, and when he gets hit it's usually with a straight right hand. This seems to be a common tactic against him, likely because as a southpaw who isn't naturally left-handed, his stance leaves a clear opening. Even with this weakness, Crawford's toughness, speed, and footwork help him avoid serious damage. Ted noted that Crawford often takes punches on purpose, much like Sugar Ray Leonard did, using them to create chances for counters. Crawford will let his opponent see a small opening, then quickly move out of range and strike back with accuracy. This approach shows he's not only highly skilled, but also a smart and tough fighter who performs well under pressure.
Homework on Terence Bud Crawford. I was going to put together video clip of how Terence Bud Crawford loves to trade. So while I was trying to put that together, I noticed that when he is getting hit in the exchange, is usually by a straight right. So much so that I've noticed that his ops plan to land a straight right. These fighters literally study Crawford and plan on throwing a straight right because he's a southpaw and he's not a natural southpaw. So they actually plan for it. It's just that Terence Crawford is so damn durable and good and athletic that even when they're landing it, he's okay. And a lot of times he kind of make them miss, or he'll give them his face like Sugar Ray Leonard, love him to death, and he'll step back and go bang because his feet are so good. That's why I said he's a fighter. Crawford is more of a fighter than...
Jiren Butanis is also favoring Canelo Alvarez in a possible matchup, noting that Canelo has defeated bigger opponents even though 168 isn't his natural weight class, and some of those fighters likely weigh around 200 pounds on fight night, yet Canelo still manages them well. He views the fight as a major event that fans are excited for, and also recommended that Terence Crawford take a tune-up fight at 160 pounds to get used to the size difference, build strength, and stay sharp without taking too much time off.
And big guys out and down, and Canelo not even really a 68 pounder. He probably really should be at 60 maybe, and he been hurting these guys. I think he be dropping these guys and things like that. So, and them guys be way bigger than him come fight night. I know that for sure. They be probably close to 200 pounds, and he dropping those guys like that. So I don't know. It's gonna be a great fight. The fans want to see it. So, so be it. I think Crawford should take a warm-up fight. At like 60, or like at least at 60, just to get his body, to fill into somebody a little bit bigger, and things like that. I know when you go up in weight, you gotta, develop that power and not develop the power, but like put that muscle on and be heavy and things like that. So he might not want to take a fight because he's trying to build up right now. But I think he should, just to stay sharp and that way he don't have like a long layoff or anything like that.
Shannon Briggs strongly backed Terence Crawford in a possible fight against Canelo Alvarez, saying he's sure Crawford would win. He spoke about Crawford all day and even predicted a knockout, although Briggs usually doesn't bet. He said he will this time because of his confidence in Crawford. He repeatedly claimed Crawford would hurt Canelo and finish the fight by knockout. Mton also showed support for Crawford, saying he hasn't made an official pick but believes Crawford has more skills and can adapt, whether he's moving around or fighting up close, while giving credit to Canelo as a great fighter. Mton said his style is more limited, relying on pressure, slick head movement, and counter shots. He believes Crawford's speed and agility will help him outbox Canelo.
Who you got, champ?
I don't have a pick. I feel like I'm a root for Crawford, and I just feel like Crawford is more multi-dimensional. He can do more things in the ring. He can get on his toes if he really needs to, and then he can also bang in the pocket, obviously. And I feel like Canelo's a great, but I feel like he's more one-dimensional. He's just gonna put that pressure, slick head movement, try to come with them counters. But I just feel like Crawford gonna have the speed advantage, and he gonna probably just outbox Canelo. But I don't have no pick right now.
That wraps up today's video. What do you think about all this? What are your thoughts on the fight? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also check out the other videos showing on your screen.